Welcome to the Small Business Made Simple podcast, brought to you by socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Being in business is never easy, but it can be simple, or at least simpler. Join me, your host Jen Donovan, every week where we focus on marketing, social media, and working towards simplifying your business. You with me? Let's do this.
Gonna dream it big, 'cause someone out there listening. Everyone's got a voice to give, and it's time I heard you whistling, 'cause there's no point at all, in dreaming small.
Why, hey there, my fabulous listener. Welcome to episode 181 of the Small Business Made Simple podcast. Thank you, as always, for lending me your ears today. I know that you have lots of choices out there, but I really do appreciate you making me one of them. If you're enjoying this podcast, then I would love to connect with you a little bit more, and you can help me get to know you by taking a screenshot, sharing it on your socials, and tagging me, because that would be super cool, because that way I could cheer you on social media as well as talk to you in your ears here in the podcast. A couple of things before we get started with today's episode. The first thing is you can find the show notes for this episode at socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/181. And the second thing I just wanted to chat to you about was a fabulous event that I'm emceeing at the end of March in Sydney called SMB Digital. It's a 2-day conference at the ICC in Sydney. It's free to attend. It's a 2-day conference. There's like 55 plus speakers, including me. And there's also exhibits featuring all the best tech, digital tech solutions for SMBs, for people just like you, for small businesses. If you're keen to attend, like I said, the tickets are free. And plus then you could tap me on the shoulder and we could meet in person. How freaking cool would that be? I know. Clap, clap, clap. It would be so cool. But you can get your free ticket by going to smb-digital.com.au or just go to Google, type in SMB Digital Conference Sydney, and I'm sure the tickets will come up. If you can't do either of those things, head to my show notes and you will see the link in my show notes. It's going to be an amazing event for small business owners, and I would love to see you there. So today's episode is a little tongue-in-cheek. It's titled 5 Ways to Fail in Business. So slightly tongue-in-cheek. You see, I was having this conversation with one of my online besties, one of my dear business besties, and we had this joke about the top 3 ways to fail in business. It was a silly little conversation that we were having from a chat, from a comment that I actually made to her. You see, I was tidying up my desk not long before we were chatting on Zoom and tidying up my cupboards, and I found my to-do list for 2021. Now, I divide my to-do list into urgent, semi-urgent, must-do, nice to do, and if I ever have time to do sections. Yes, that's actually a category, if I ever have time to do it. And I was telling Sarah that in my semi-urgent list was what I would qualify a money-making activity that clearly I never got around to doing. Hence the joke, yep, let's put up some posts on social media and let's book things in rather than actually doing money-making activities. So the joke was on me. Best way to fail in business? Don't do your money-making activities. So that set us into a conversation of all the things that we do as small business owners collectively that, if we aren't careful, could actually set us up to fail in business. So as a lesson to myself, and maybe to you too, I'm going to list a few things that we chatted about just in case you need a nudge for not doing them either. So we're going to talk about the best ways to fail in business and hopefully nudge you into not doing them and therefore not failing in business. So the first thing, as I mentioned before, was not doing your money-making activities first. Now, I've already admitted I failed at this. It was on my list and it still didn't get done for whatever reason, whatever block there is for doing that activity. So please don't do this. Please, take a look at your to-do list that you've got now and mark out which ones are money-making activities and do them first. I will if you will. Oh my goodness. And you know what? I'm recording this podcast and I still haven't done it. But anyway, that is my fault. I will get it done. I will put it on the must-do list rather than the semi-urgent list. The second thing we do to set ourselves up for failure is to be reactive rather than proactive. We react to situations inside our business mostly because there's no plan. So rather than being proactive and goal orientated and goal focused on where we want to go, we don't have that. So therefore we are constantly reacting to the world around us or to things that are happening in our business rather than having it on the plan stand. So if you want to fail, stay reactive. If you want to be successful, we need to start being proactive. We need to set goals. We need to review goals. We need to be goal focused inside our business. The third thing that will help you fail in business is to be always chasing BSOs, bright, shiny object syndrome. Or as my saying of my favourite 19-year-old son, we talk about him, he's always chasing squirrels. Chasing squirrels. So squirrel chasing or bright, shiny object chasing. Some bright, shiny objects are actually good to chase. I get that. But some are distractions dressed up as opportunities, and you need the wisdom to know the difference between the two of them. And if you can't tell the difference, then you need to ensure that you chase them right to the end. Don't do things half-hearted. Don't do things half done. If you're going to go down the bright shiny object chasing line, then make sure that it's going to work and it's going to turn into a money making activity for you. If you're always swapping and changing your business model, your products, your services, then A, your customers are probably confused as to what they can buy with you and have no idea what you are selling at any given point. And B, you will burn out long before you should because you're not making the money you deserve. So only chase the BSOs that are worth chasing and learn to say no to the others. Learn to understand which ones are just distractions dressed up as opportunities. The fourth thing that you can do to fail in business, and this is a really big one for small business owners, it's to undervalue yourself, undervalue your products or your services, mostly your services. Undervaluing what you bring to the table, what you can offer your customers or clients is a massive hurdle. I know so many small business owners, and maybe you struggle with. You have to charge what you're worth. You have to charge what you're worth. You are not for everyone, and therefore your price point is not for everyone. So stop thinking you have to have a price that's for everyone. You don't, because even your offerings aren't for everyone. You will attract the right customers if you charge what you are worth. If you charge too little, you will simply just fill your business and your diary with customers that, quite frankly, you would rather give to your opposition because they have brought in to you because you are too cheap. And therefore, charging what you're worth will ensure that you actually fill your diary and fill your business with people who actually appreciate what it is that you bring to the table. They appreciate the value of what you can bring to the table. And finally, the fifth way that you can ensure that your business fails is actually to fail to launch at all. To be so caught up in needing things to be perfect, needing all your ducks in a row, needing everything and everybody to be lined up, sorted, procedures done, processes in place, everything perfect before you'll launch your business. And therefore, because you will never, ever get that done, you will never launch your business. Perfection is a massive trap, and I know that it cripples so many small business owners who don't value themselves or their products or their services, and therefore they don't want to take it to market till it's perfect because they are afraid or concerned of what people will think, that no one will buy their products, that it's not ready, in inverted commas. So if you've listened to this podcast or followed me on social media for any length of time, you know exactly what I'm about to say. You know exactly the advice that I'm about to give you. Ready, fire, aim. It's what my mentor always taught me, and it's the wisdom that I am passing on to you today because it has literally served me so well in business. Get ready, 100%. get ready to launch, but fire before you have it all sorted, and aim, so sort it out as you go along, tweaking and perfecting and changing as your customers and prospects give you feedback, whether it's positive or constructive. You will never have everything perfect before you launch. So you've got to ready, fire, aim. You know your stuff. You are amazing at what you do, but sometimes, like me, we just need a nudge to say, hey, are you self-sabotaging your business by doing insert the one that I've just mentioned that might apply to you? Mine is clearly not understanding my money-making activities and making it a priority. So which one of these resonated with you the most? Whatever it is, consider this your nudge and consider it like my little piece of gold to you today to go, stop it. You are setting yourself up for failure. You need to make sure that you stop doing whichever one it is that you are doing. If you're doing more than one, then stop doing all of them then. Really, I just want you to succeed in business. And so this tongue-in-cheek way of me telling you these are the best ways to fail in business is me telling you that doing the complete opposite is the best way to succeed in business. But that's it for another episode of the Small Business Made Simple podcast. See, I can make a podcast out of just about anything. This was just a tongue-in-cheek conversation that Sez and I were having, and it turned into a podcast because I thought it was just so valuable to share with everybody else, including you. So if you want to continue the chat and tell me maybe which one resonated with you the most, then jump into the Like-Minded Business Owners Facebook group and join that if you haven't already joined. And of course, talking about my Like-Minded Business Owners Facebook group, I have some amazing guests coming to do lives with me inside their live during the year. I am absolutely stoked by the caliber and the interest that I've had by offering this little offer for experts in their field to come and talk to you through this group. I have people, finance experts and PR experts and other marketing experts beside myself and law experts. All sorts of different people coming to do Q&As and to talk to you about their expertise. Another great reason to join my community. So just to finally finish up, again, remember the show notes will be at socialmediamarketing.com.au/181. Remember to go and grab your free ticket if you can make it to Sydney on the 30th and 31st of March and come and tap me on the shoulder and say hi. Otherwise, I will be back next week for another podcast episode 182. In the meantime, if we aren't hanging out on social, let's get social on social. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and of course, LinkedIn. But whatever you do, remember my small business peeps. As my opening song says, there is no point in dreaming small.
No time like the present. Tell it like you feel it, say it proud, be true, and let us see you for the star that you are. No point in dreaming small.
I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Yorta Yorta people, on which I record this podcast and conduct my business today, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I extend this respect to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here with us today as well.